Hi to all our lovely listeners at Kids Story Room, and welcome to episode 3 of The Tale of Shaggles and Petrookio. A hearty thank you too to all our subscribers and for our wonderful reviews. If you're enjoying our stories and have a spare minute, reviews on the podcast app for iTunes really help us in the old creep up the search ladder challenge. We're also on Spotify now too, so if you don't have an iPhone, it's easier to listen now. Okay, back to the story. How will the fish feel about their pipe adventure? Here's episode 3. Shaggles waded into the edge of the creek and stuck his head under the water to say hello to the fish. The 4 of them were still very excited from their pipe adventure and were swimming around each other frantically. "Hello, friends," Shaggles gurgled to them, giggling as the water bubbles tickled his nose. "Are you all okay?" All together, the fish replied, "Brilliant, excellent, splendiferous, rollercoastery, fun, heaps of it, bubbly, washful, flippity-doo." And they went on excitedly bob-blopping for about 5 minutes. When they finally calmed down long enough for Shaggles to get an air bubble in edgeways, he said, "All right, everyone, let's play quiet and still as an anemone." Suddenly, the fish all stopped bob-blopping and flapping their fins and just floated gently on the current, looking at Shaggles with wide, still, innocent eyes. "Good," said Shaggles. "You all make very beautiful anemones. Now, I know that you all had fun today, but I want you to promise me that you won't go anywhere near that pipe ever again." The game of quiet and still as an anemone was over immediately. "What? Never ever? I want to go tomorrow. I want to go now. Yes, she wants to go now. Let's go now." "No," barked Shaggles, though as his head was underwater, it came out as more of a burble. "That pipe is dangerous, and the dam that you fell into is muddy, and the water's thick. There's no food in there for you. And the next time Plop won't be able to save you because she won't be able to see you through the dirty water. You'll have to stay in there forever and never come back to your home." "But it's fun, yeah, it's fun. I love fun." Flugia, the smartest and most sensible of the fish, wasn't joining in the bob-blopping with the others. She was looking around her, flipping her fins forward and back and spinning in a circle. "Sploosh, everyone, stop your bob-blopping," Flugia insisted. "Listen to Shaggles. He said if we went up that pipe again, we would never come back here to our river. Is that true, Shaggles?" "I'm afraid it is, Flugia. You'll be trapped there." "Well, I don't want to get trapped there and never come back to our home, so I'm not going anywhere near that pipe ever again." Flugia flapped her fins in her family's faces. "Come on, you guys, we can have other adventures. We can swim upstream and slippery current slide back again, or we could go downstream and play in the sea." The rest of Flugia's family swam round and round in circles, trying to make up their minds. Eventually, they settled down to a gentle float. "Okay, Flugia, okay, Shaggles, okay, we'll stay. "Good," said Shaggles. "Do you all promise? Cross your fins and hope not to get eaten?" "Yes, Shaggles, yes. Cross our fins and hope not to get eaten. Hope not to get eaten." But with all the air bubbles and crossing and flapping of fins, none of them noticed that Julep hadn't crossed a fin or opened his mouth to promise anything. Just as Shaggles was about to say goodbye to the fish and head on home for dinner, he noticed a claw sticking out of the mud. "Hello, Petrookio. Where have you been?" Shaggles asked the claw. "Hiding." "Why have you been hiding?" "I like it," waggled the claw. "Would you like to meet my friends, Petrookio?" asked Shaggles. "Not sure." "Come on. They can't nip you." Shaggles called the fish over. "Hey, Julep, Flugia, Palala, Gloogly, swim over here for a moment. I'd like you to meet my friend, Petrookio the yabby." Petrookio very shyly stuck his other claw out of the mud and his little head and glared at the fish as they swam over. When the fish saw who they were being introduced to, they started bob-blopping frantically. "Ow! Look at his claws! Look at his eyes! He's funny looking! Weird! Yeah, he's weird! Will he nip us? Will he eat us? Why does he have such a little head? What is it? Funny looking! Funny looking! Funny looking!" "This is Petrookio," said Shaggles again to the fish. "He won't hurt you, and he's not funny looking. He's a yabby and he lives in the mud. He has those big claws so he can protect himself. We're all funny looking to each other in our own way. You won't nip them, will you, Petrookio?"
"Try not to, just as long as they don't sit on me."
"Petrookio, this is Julep," said Shaggles, nudging Julep forward with his nose so that he could say hello. Julep bob-blopped a lot and swam round and round Petrookio warily. "Hello, hello, hello, hello to you, Petrookio, bob-blopped Julep.
"Hi,"
answered Petrookio. "And this is Gloogly," said Shaggles, nodding at Gloogly to swim forward. Gloogly, as the oldest and wisest of the fish, was both surprised and excited to meet a creature he had not actually met before. He swam right up to Petrookio and ruffled his fins. "Goodly, goodly, goodly, goodly evening to you. Seen you around before. Sorry I never said hello, hello. Saying it now though. Hello, hello, hello."
"Hi."
"And this is Palala," said Shaggles. Palala was frisky and vibrant. She zoomed up to Petrookio and showed him one side of her grey speckled body and then the other. It's lovely to meet you at last. Yes, lovely, 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 lovely."
"Hi."
"And this is Flugia, Petrookio," said Shaggles. Flugia swam right up to Petrookio and said quietly,
"Friend of Shaggles is a friend of ours. I'm sorry if we've ever been rude. Sometimes we just bob-blop a lot without thinking." "That's okay,"
squeaked Petrookio.
"Nice to greet you."
Shaggles smiled. He loved it when everyone was happy. "There you go, Petrookio. You've made 5 friends in one day. How about that?"
"Yeah, it's real good. Thanks, Shaggles,"
said Petrookio, and his eyes changed to orange, which was a little less fierce than red, and he scrunched his little face up into a yabby smile. Shaggles pulled his face out of the creek, gave himself a good shake-off on the bank, and then bounded off home. The fish, tired after their great adventure, settled down quietly to bob-blop amongst themselves. Petrookio scuttled out of the creek and up the bank a little way. He crossed his claws, one over the other, and rested his head on them, the way he had seen Shaggles do earlier that day, and then made up a little poem in the evening twilight.
"I've got 5 friends. I met them at the river bend. This morning I had none. I was just sitting in the sun. Then Shaggles came along and he did sing a song. So I nipped him with my claw, so he had to look at the floor. And that's where I was. Just because. He said hello. Pretty nice fellow. Now I have mates. And that's really great."
And that concludes episode 3. In episode 4, things get a little tricky for our river friends. Plop is moving on, and Julep is nowhere to be seen. Bye till then.